Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make a Hocus Pocus theme wood bead garland. That's a hard one to say. So how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to be using two different sizes of the wooden beads. I'm also going to be using three colors. I only have two here right now, but I'm actually going to be using black, orange, and purple. You're going to need some twine and then some baker's twine as well. So first things first, of course, you're going to want to paint your beads. If you're doing this project for something else, you don't have to paint the beads. You could leave them their natural wood color. That would be very pretty too. But since this is a Halloween video and a Hocus Pocus theme bead garland, I'm going to be painting the beads. Now, I did pick out random sizes from each. I have a smaller bead and a larger bead, and I'm just picking out just random sizes, and I'm going to be doing 12 of each color. Just really, like I said, very random. I'm not going to try to have any kind of order or anything as far as the sizes go, but I will put them in order as far as the colors go, just because that I feel like will make it look more even. So as you can probably tell, I painted the black beads on a separate night, and then I painted the orange and the purple beads on the same night. So the black beads were already dry, and I'm just gonna finish up painting the beads and go ahead and get started on the tassel. Now, of course, as some of you may know, Hocus Pocus is one of my favorite movies of all time, period, but it's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Halloween movie. So that's one of the reasons why I chose to do this color scheme. I felt like it was very reminiscent of the Hocus Pocus colors. And my theme this year with my Halloween decor is kind of orange, purple, black, and like a creamy white color. So that's the theme that I was going for. So that's why I chose this exact color scheme. And honestly, I really like the way that it turned out. I will say that I do wish I would have thrown in a couple of the cream color beads just to give it a little pop of neutral or pop of white. But I still really love the way that this color scheme turned out. I don't know about y'all, but I find myself adding new things to my Halloween decor and really my Christmas decor every year. I get kind of bored with the themes that I have, and I like to switch it up and add new things and switch things around. So that's kind of what I did this year. The last couple years, I don't think I've really decorated much for Halloween, but this year I really was in the spirit to do so, even though, you know, 2020 has been kind of blah. It did take me a little bit longer to decorate this year than it normally would, but I was really excited to make this bead garland and add it to my decor. So now that all your beads are painted, you are going to let them dry, and while they are drying, you can go ahead and get started on your tassel. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking these three colored twines. One's green, one's purple, and one is orange. And first you're just going to wrap it around the width of your hand. You're going to do each color this way. Obviously I'm just doing them one by one. And I did wrap it around, I think about 12 or 13 times. And then once you have it to your desired thickness, you can definitely do it thicker or less thicker. You are going to just tie it off on the top, and then you're gonna cut open the bottom of the loop. That way it kind of frays it out and it gives it that tassel look. So this is what it'll look like once you have cut the bottom of the loop and then tied off the top of the loop. And then you're just gonna repeat those steps with the other two colors. You can also just use regular plain twine. I think that would be really cute too, to give it kind of a broomy look, which is perfect for a Hocus Pocus theme bead garland. But I chose to use this baker's twine that I had on hand. I actually got it from the Dollar Tree. And then I picked up the beads from Amazon, and then I got the acrylic paint from Walmart. Okay, so now that you have got all of your colors tied off, you are going to want to combine them, and you can kind of mix them up a little bit. That way they're not like purple on one side, green on the middle, and orange on the other side. I did try to mix them up to the best of my ability, and then you're gonna see me tie them all together again at the top of the loop, and you're gonna wanna trim up the bottom of the tassel just to make it kind of even. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's a tassel, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So now that you have combined the 3 colors and tied them off at the top, you're just going to take another piece of baker's twine, and then you're just going to wrap it around the top just to kind of keep the top part of it together and let the bottom part kind of freely fall. It definitely gives it like a broom vibe, like if you think about like the old school broom. So you're just going to want to wrap that extra piece of baker's twine around probably about 5 or 6 times. And then it's going to look like this. As you see, you still have that loop on the top, and then you have all the other pieces kind of free falling at the bottom. Next, you're just going to kind of comb out the baker's twine to make sure it's all even. And then, as I mentioned before, you're just going to cut off any excess at the bottom to make it as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, it is just a tassel. But you do want, you know, your pieces to kind of be all the same length. And now you're just going to thread all of your beads through. I am just using that baker's twine again, just because I figured it would be easier to thread through the wooden beads because they are kind of rough on the insides. And I figured the regular twine would be a little too thick. It was really hard to thread these through because the baker's twine kept fraying and catching onto the wood on the inside of the beads. This probably took me the longest out of the whole project, but when you see the end result, you'll definitely agree that I think it was worth it. As you'll see here, I did tie a little bit of regular twine on the end just to hold the beads in place because the baker's twine was a little too thin and the balls kept slipping through the hole. And now I'm just going to attempt to tie the tassel onto the piece of baker's twine for the garland. That was really difficult to thread it back through. It took me probably 15 minutes to get it back through. And I tried using a needle, but the hole for the needle was just a little bit too small. If you have like a knitting needle or a needle that has like a bigger eye on it, that would be perfect for this project. I unfortunately just didn't have anything. So now that I've threaded it through the tassel, I'm just going to tie it off so it is perfectly positioned on the end of the garland. So this is how it looks with the beads all threaded and the tassel added to the bottom. I love the way this turned out. It's so cute and so fun. And of course, I had to add it to my decor. So I put it on my shelf like this. You can style this in so many different ways. I've seen people style these bead garlands in so many different creative ways, and there's just so much versatility to them. You can add them to any of your decor and it just gives it that extra special touch. But I love the way this turned out, and even though it was kind of time consuming, it was pretty easy. Definitely, I think anyone could probably pull this off. And then this is me just adding it to my tiered tray, of course. And I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already. And as always, thanks for being my kind of weird. Bye.